Folks, the Fragrant Lawyer here. I'm a lawyer by profession, but a fragrance aficionado by passion. Today, we're gonna talk about barbershop fragrances. I'm gonna go through a top 5, give you the notes and tell you my impressions and what to look for in these types of fragrances. So let's talk about why barbershop fragrance. Often it's nostalgia. You know, you remember those days when you're young, maybe going with your father, grandfather, or your uncle, or even older brother to a barbershop. You know, the hair gets cut, the spray on the back of the head, there's a shave as well, a hot towel shave, and that fresh feeling, that sharp feeling that you get when you leave the barbershop and you smell that on yourself or on someone else, that is the fragrances they use, it just gives you that feeling of going sort of back in time. Barbershop fragrances, I find, are very pleasing. No one gets offended by them. Maybe some people think they could be old school, but I think that's a good thing because I believe in things that have class. So without further ado, let's get into the barbershop fragrances. You're gonna find the common notes that we're gonna see in all of these. Usually there may be some lavender, okay, tonka bean, there could be patchouli and even oak moss, okay? You got very traditional, what I would call sort of warm, maybe sharp type of fragrances that are very alluring. Now I have an honorable mention here. This is Amber Parfum by Prada. I didn't put it in here. I think it's very light, but it is so soapy and clean. If you ever want, you know, sort of a barbershop smell that it's kind of right out of the shower type of smell, this Prada is, I think it's one of their best. This is Amber Parfum. It is just absolutely outstanding. Okay, so that is an honorable mention. Not pure barbershop, but it's just clean and soapy and it kind of gives you that vibe. Great for the summer as well. So my number 5 is this very interesting one here. Musgo Real, I guess we call it Real, Black Edition. And this is, it's a Portuguese fragrance. Believe it or not, they have some. I was out in Porto actually last summer and I picked this up and I'm like, wow. You know what? I always like when I travel to pick something local, and the bottle is really good looking. I'm not a fan of the atomizer, you know, this, you know, 200-year-old type of, that's how they would do it. You know, they would spray like this. I have a, you know, I think it's by Guerlain, yeah, the Derby one like this, the B bottle, and I just find it kind of gets stuck sometimes. But anyway, let me just spray this, and you'll see the tricky aspect of spraying. Either you get a lot or you don't, right? Okay, look, if we're talking pure barbershop, this may be the one. This is literally what they use on you. You know, it just seems like that. You know, there's notes of lemon, there's some bergamot, juniper, cardamom, there's some nutmeg in it as well, cedar, tonka bean, vetiver, and the patchouli. You really get the patchouli in the dry down on this one. I just don't think it is as pleasing as some of the other ones that I have on this list. But in terms of pure barbershop smell, something that is, you know, musk is not a written note here, but clearly it is musky, okay? So this is really a pure barbershop fragrance, okay? And there's another one coming up next, which I'll say is also very similar to that. But here you go, Musgo Real. I believe it's called Klaus Porto, I think is the perfume on this. But this is Musgo Real Black Edition. It's great to have in your collection, not that expensive. Very nice bottle, but I'm just not a fan of that type of sprayer, okay? But it really is pure barbershop. Okay, number 4, it's really a classic barbershop fragrance, okay? This is Helmut, and this is the Eau de Cologne, okay? They have an Eau de Perfume, but I find that is more unisex. This is very masculine, the Eau de Toilette, okay? So I'm just gonna give that a nice spray. Well blended. Oh, this is just pure class. It is well blended. Helmut is, like, I believe it's a German brand. Excellent pedigree with this one. Okay, so look, you got lavender, rosemary, heliotrope, lily of the valley. I don't really smell it, but it's a listed note. There's some rose and jasmine. I don't really smell that in it as well. There's musks, I get that. Sandalwood, I get that. Cedar and patchouli. Another true out of the barbershop fragrance, one that will actually last and I think is just very pleasing. I actually really like this fragrance. Probably one of the reasons why it's not number 2, number 1, maybe the longevity, okay? Because, you know, you probably have to reapply after a couple of hours, but it just, you know, in the summer, let's say a summer evening, you've taken a shower before you go out, you put this on. This is a man's fragrance. You've come out of that barbershop, it is so well put together. I highly recommend Helmut Eau de Cologne version, okay? You can still get it. Go online, you can get this one. Hitting now with number 3. Okay, this is from the House of Guerlain. This came out in 2019, I believe. And this is called Encens Mythique. Encens Mythique. Maybe not pronouncing it right. And it's a very clean, typical Guerlain type of fragrance with well-blended notes. Oh, I love this one. I remember this one clearly. I wore this a lot in 2019 when I first got it. I have a lot of fragrances, but I remember really using a lot of this. Okay, so you've got aldehydes and rose and saffron. I don't get the rose, I get a bit of saffron, and I get a lot of aldehydes at the beginning. Okay, pink peppers, patchouli, vetiver, there's ambergris, woods, and olibanum. It is very clean. Now, if you see the reviews, online about this, not a lot of people will classify it as a barbershop fragrance. I do. It's got that soapiness, that cleanliness to it that you just feel, you've got that aftershave on, you've had the shave, and it is a long-lasting one. This is the Guerlain fragrance, and they do last a long time, and this one will. And this is why it's number 3. I love this one. It's not a pure barbershop, probably like the Helmut Lang or the Musgo Real Black Edition. This is a very good fragrance though, not pure barbershop, but it's so good, so pleasing, very manly. Now we're getting, I think, into the heavy hitters. And honestly, between these two that are coming up now, it was a hard choice. I love them both, but I'm gonna put number 2, this one here. This is Panama 1924. This is the Eau de Toilette. I know the Perfume is out there now, and they have different editions of the Panama 1924. This is the Eau de Toilette, okay? And it's collaboration, I believe, with Boellis, and they're an Italian house. Oh, this is outstanding. So this is, when we talk barbershop, often in North America, we have sort of that musky lavender, that I sort of spoke about with the others, okay? Maybe with Helmut Lang and the Musgo. That's how we feel when we come out of a barbershop. In Europe, in Italy, and in places like Turkey, it's a different type of barbershop scent they're gonna use when you leave there. This is such a high quality fragrance. Okay, lavender, you got mandarin orange, you got mint, you've got lemon, coriander, there's some cinnamon in this. There is some rose and there's some sandalwood in it as well. I think there's tobacco, and I'm pretty quite sure there is, although it's not a listed note. Some people say this is like lemon. I don't really get that. Okay, I can understand sort of, maybe, but it's such a clean and well put together fragrance. It is miles above lemon. Okay, nothing against Jean-Paul Gaultier, right? But this is miles above. This is like and actually. You know what? I mean, they make shaving soaps, they make shaving cream, they make aftershave. This house, Panama 1924, is actually really a shaving house. And this fragrance, if you can get your hands on this, it's a compliment getter, maybe a bit old school, but a prototype European barbershop fragrance. You can't go wrong with this. Panama 1924, Eau de Toilette, the collaboration with Boellis, okay? Number 1, again, this Panama could have been number 1, okay? We're very close here. But the number 1 in my books is from this fantastic British house, Floris London. And this is elite. I mean, they have a number of great fragrances, and I do own a number of them. But there's something about elite, the old school, classy nature of this fragrance. I just love this. So you've got bergamot, you've got some juniper, you've got cedar, you've got petitgrain, you've got some grapefruits in this. There's fir, there's lavender, bay leaf. There's bay leaf for sure. That's, barbershop, right? Oak moss, leather, cedar, vetiver, patchouli, amber, and musk. This is a classic English gentleman's fragrance. When you're groomed well, you're coming out of a barbershop. I'm gonna make it my fragrance of the day, in fact, as well. You come out of that barbershop, you smell good, you're in a shirt, maybe open like mine, or you have a tie and you got a suit on. This is the James Bond-like fragrance for barbershop fragrance in that genre, okay? This is Floris London, and this is elite, folks. Get your hands on this, okay? It's not a freshie. As many people will say it's old school, but there's nothing wrong with old school and something classic like this. All right, folks. There you have it. My top 5 with an honorable mention to the Prada fragrance. my top 5 barbershop fragrances. I hope you like this video, and if you do, please like, please comment, please subscribe, okay? And follow us on Instagram and TikTok as well. There you have it, folks. Take care of yourselves. The Fragrant Lawyer, out.